Get ready to get your credit goober on. We've got some news about the after credit sequence for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 right here on Screen Junkies News. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 opens in theaters in just a couple of weeks, and we know that we'll get to see the one-day father of my children, Star-Lord, discover that his father is Kurt Russell. Well, after that story wraps up, don't go anywhere, because there's not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 post-credit scenes. This coming from reporters who saw a super secret, very special screening of the film last night. Here to speculate on just what those 5 scenes might be are Daniel Radford and Matt Key. Oh boy, hello kitty boo-boos. All right.
Hello.
What do you think we're gonna get, Danielle?
You know, personally, so originally everyone was saying it's only going to be 4 scenes, and then James Gunn was like, nah, boo-boos, it's 5. Mm-hmm. So there was one scene that was completely hidden from this, like, super special screening.
So you're saying, like, they showed 4 last night, but no, there's 5 for the release.
Yeah, so there's going to be 5. So there's one
awesome.
that, like...
I love it when they do that.
Right? It's great. It's like Daredevil right before Logan. Mm-hmm. And so who knows what that special one is going to wind up being. Could we get to see maybe some stuff from Avengers 3? We already know that they're on set. They showed that really great behind the scenes where you got to see all the guys on set in front of those great set pieces. It's not a huge leap to think maybe we'll get a couple seconds of everybody all together. It's nice. It's like when you get all your action figures in like one spot. It's like, hey, look, play together. Now Iron Man gets to play with Gamora.
So what you want, like you think what we're gonna see is the Milano showing up on Earth for the first time and Peter being like, Earth, Avengers.
That would be amazing.
Right?
That would be great.
Yeah,
Wow,
cool.
what do you think you're going to say?
So James Gunn said yesterday that he's going to do like the next Guardians movie, and in that quote that he had on that giant essay that he wrote on Facebook, he said that he and Feige are working together to create the future of the Marvel Cosmic Universe, which is a completely separate thing from the Earthbound Avengers and everything. So I want to see something that sets up that. Like, I want to see something like, are we going to see like a Kree Skrull War or like a Skrull Secret Invasion kind of storyline? Because we know Marvel actually has the rights to the Skrulls. They just don't have the rights to specific Skrulls, because that's what Fox has. Or, you know, like, do we see like a really cool character? Like, are we going to see something like Adam Warlock? We've got the Sovereign Race in there. Like, it would be cool if they were like, oh, now here's this guy, Adam Warlock, you know? So I think we're going to see something like that. Because
it's James Gunn, I feel like the fact that there are all of these, like 5? What 5?
Yeah.
Was there a discount? Was there like a run on them? You had to buy them in bulk? What I love, though, is that they did keep one hidden, because very often at press screenings, we know there's an after credit sequence, and then they don't show it to us, so we have to like pay money or wait for some jerk to like record it on their phone so I can watch it on YouTube. I'm not saying I do that. I'm just saying like that's what
it is a thing that is done.
Yeah. But first of all, that there's 5. Second of all, because it's James Gunn, you know he's going to be making jokes about the fact that we just keep throwing after credit scenes in. So I feel like maybe the first 3 will be inside jokes, sort of like the shawarma scene in Avengers. Like, there'll be throwbacks to things we saw earlier in the movie, and then I think 4 and 5 might
be the legit ones.
Go further. But maybe they're all, who knows? Maybe like one's from Spider-Man, and one's from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and one is from Black Panther, and then one is from Infinity War. Who knows? It's mania. It could be anything.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
What is this thing? Okay, why 5?
I'm guessing just because it's fun. Is he trying to break a record? Like, I don't know why you would do 5. Because I think that's the most that we've seen in any superhero movie so far.
Yeah.
The most we've ever had is just 2, right?
Yeah.
5 is so many scenes.
That's the Costco of after credit sequences. You just get them all. It's like a...
but like going like along those lines, I really can't help but wonder, like, is James Gunn like all in on the Cosmic Universe side of things? Is he all in on, this is what we've got coming in Guardians 3. Maybe we're going to get a Groot and Rocket movie. Maybe we're going to, like, where else is this going?
I would love if we got a peek at Captain Marvel, Because like as much fun, especially talking about that cosmic universe and we're in space, and as much fun as seeing like a peak of Avengers 3 would be, like I said, it is like just emptying all your toys onto your carpet and playing with them all individually. I haven't seen, we haven't seen a good shot of what we can expect from a Captain Marvel movie. I would love if we got just even like an incy tiny beat of that. Just a little sprinkling. Just a little taste.
So here's the other thing. So I remember back in the day, credit goober is a, Matt was asking before, credit goober was a
Never
word
heard that phrase.
that actually Leonard Maltin brought up to me once when I took his class at USC, one of the 4 times that I took it because I'm a nerd. And basically it's like the idea that you sit and you watch all the credits because you're trying to be respectful for all the people who worked on the film. Now nobody does that. People sit because they're like, what are you giving me?
Yeah.
What's my extra?
Where's Samuel L. Jackson?
Why am I still sitting around here? So with the 5, I feel, I don't know, like they obviously, will they all tie in together? Is it like the part of the joke is we're doing this thing and it goes along and then suddenly it cuts off really abruptly and then you have to wait a little bit longer for more of the credits to roll and then it cuts off really abruptly and then what is this one big scene broken up into 5 bits or are these 5 individual things?
I think it's 5 individual.
Yeah, I think it's 5 individual things. And I think that you got it spot on where it'll be like, a little funny thing off to the side or whatever, and then some more credits and some more being respectful to all of the best boys and grip people.
Yeah,
and then,
they work hard.
they do. They work super hard. Yeah. And then, some more funny stuff and then that. And I think whatever kind of the big climax is going to be, like whatever that is, that's going to be the thing that happens after the credits are over. We're going to see whatever the big thing is going to be.
I think you got something. I think it's going to be an Infinity War thing. I think because like they did that at the end of Ant-Man where you got like that quick little scene where like they had just caught Bucky and they had his arm in the vice and he's like, I know a guy, and you're like, oh my God, Ant-Man's going to be in Civil War. That's awesome. But that was actually in the movie. I can't help but wonder like if we are actually going to see the Guardians like come down to Earth and like
awesome.
Iron Man's like, who are you? And they're like, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, you haven't heard of us? Like,
and he's like, what's it? You're the who of a what now?
We're the lesser known. We're lesser known.
We're the lesser known, but we're the favorites.
But we're still the favorites. Everybody thinks. I want to know what song they're going to use because the song's going to be fantastic. I like that you both. I did that, and both of you guys went. Like there was even a head tilt. So in all of this, we just talked to Roth about her like amazing, ridiculous.
And she wouldn't tell us anything.
Behind the scenes day at Marvel. It was like bring your child to work day, but it was bring all the nerds to Marvel day, and it just sounded awesome.
It would be impossible to be more jealous of someone for something. Like,
if I ever got invited to one of those, that's where I would hold a wedding. I would just have a surprise wedding. I would figure it out.
Would you marry Kevin Feige?
I would, whoever is there. I would bring my partner. I would marry another nerd. I'm just saying.
Taika Waititi.
That's what.
Who here is single? Do you want to get married right now?
Because this is a monumental. This is a moment. This is a moment in time, and it needs to happen right now. But we talked a lot about Kevin Feige and just how much oversight he has on Marvel films, and there are so many intricacies and so much like how they go down to the granular level on so many things. And one of the things he's been very honest about is talking about how they are not going to do R-rated movies. So we have a quote from The Hollywood Reporter where he said, talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, quote, "My takeaway for both of these films is not the R rating. It's the risks they took, the chances they took, the creative boundaries that they pushed. That should be the takeaway for everyone." So whether you're doing an R-rated movie, a PG-13 movie, everybody always says the rating should serve the story. What do you think about the fact that they are still keeping things family friendly? Do they need to push boundaries with Deadpool and Logan? Do you have to ride that wave, or do you stay in your lane?
I would much rather they do what they do best than anyone try to jump on. That's what happened in comic books. You had that whole like deconstructionalist era where it was people doing really interesting things and taking risks. And all the comic book companies learned from that was like, oh, people super like cleavage and knives and pockets. And so that's what we're going to be now. And that led into
Pockets?
Pockets.
The 90s.
The 90s.
Like,
The 90s.
wait, you mean like pockets?
Pouches.
Like cargo pants? Or that you meant like
Yeah.
pockets through space and time?
That would be interesting.
That would be actually interesting, yeah.
No, well, utilitarian pockets, that's an important thing.
They are, but you don't need 20 of them on one side that you never actually reference in any panel.
Never, not
except
once.
that you're wearing them.
But
Rob Liefeld.
But yeah, so,
All right, so cleavage and knives.
Look, there's no denying that those things are great, but you're bringing up a very good point. Like, you know, Frank Miller comes out with like Swamp Thing and then Dark Knight Returns and all that stuff, and all the comic book companies are going, oh, everyone likes dark and gritty and murder. And it's like, no, they like a good story.
Yeah, that's the wrong takeaway. Like if you're watching any of those, or when Watchmen came out, the takeaway was like, ooh, superheroes banging, or this kind of dark thing. It's people using the F word. It's like, no, that isn't why it worked. And so I would rather that they do what they do best than this idea that all of these movies are going to now try to jump on and we get a grim and gritty version of that horrible 90s garbage in movies. No thanks.
I don't
do it if you can do it. That's great. Like, obviously, Logan did it great. Deadpool did it great. If you can do it and still tell a fantastic story, awesome, because it should be in service of the story. But if you're just doing it because you're like, oh, R-rated makes money now, no thanks.
If you look at the roster of the Avengers and the Guardians, none of them really need R-rated. Like Wolverine, he's got to be R-rated. Deadpool has to be R-rated. Maybe Hawkeye and Black Widow would have a good rated R movie, but like it's not necessary.
Rocket Raccoon, maybe.
Rocket Raccoon, maybe, because then he could kind of cut loose and curse. But even then, like,
I don't need
he and Groot both are so like PG. I think Feige.
Groot doesn't need the R rating for the language. I mean, that's fine.
I am Groot. Groot, watch your language. But I think Feige learned the right lesson here, and that is like, it's all in service to the story. Tell a great story. If the story demands an R rating, then go for the R rating. But like, audiences don't want to see R ratings. They want, like, I think the takeaway from Logan is, like, superheroes can be a little more mature. That still doesn't mean it has to be R-rated. It means they can tackle stronger adult themes. You can tackle those kind of things. You can have subdued stakes. They kind of skirted that with Ant-Man a little bit by making the stakes just his family and his daughter. Like, the world was kind of on the brink of disaster if like this technology got out there, but the stakes for Pym or Scott Lang were, I have to be the best dad for my daughter, So I think that's the lesson that they're learning, and I think that's the correct one.
Well, and the other thing is Marvel is so great at making their films both funny and action-packed. And also in that article, Kevin Feige said, I believe that laughter is the way to hook the audience. Then you can scare them, then you can touch them deeper than they expected. So they are so good at doing funny. They are so good at doing action. They are so good at doing character-driven stuff. They don't need to go to the Deadpool place. Let Deadpool be Deadpool, and Marvel is, you do you, boo-boo, because you're doing just fine. But we want to know from you guys what you think these crazy 5 after-credit sequences might be, and if 5 gets you excited, or is it maybe 3 or 4 too many? Let us know in the comments below. You can tweet us at SJ News. Make sure to like and subscribe, and of course, you can always click here for more Screen Junkies news.